some candy for you. Cool radios today on K6UDA radio. So it's summertime and it's time to travel. It's time to go do the fun things that we like to do all summer long. You want to bring your ham radio with you. And if you've got that big clunky TS990 that weighs 75 pounds, that's a little hard to take in a backpack. This is one of my favorite radios. This one is the KX3. I've had this one for several years now, and it has really been a great radio for me. Elecraft has just come out with this brand new KX2. This is the little brother to the KX3. It's smaller, it's much lighter, it travels with you without hardly any other accessories other than what you see here and an antenna. ICOM, another one of my favorite radios, has just come out with their first full SDR radio, the IC-7300. I'm going to talk about this one too. It's small enough to be a portable radio. It weighs just under 10 pounds. It's got a touch screen. It's got everything all in one box. 100 watts. This is the perfect machine to take with you on your RV So in the battle of the ultra portable, ultra cool radios, which one is right for you? First off, let's look at the ICOM IC-7300, just because this is Jeff's radio and I'm sure he wants it back. The biggest, brightest thing about this radio that jumps right out at you is this big, beautiful color touch screen display. This thing is really cool. It's very intuitive once you kind of get the hang of, hey, you just touch the part of the screen that you want to change. You want to change bands? There you go. You're changing bands. It's full HF, 160 through 6 meters. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it kind of does it all. Some of the controls on it are real conventional, like the passband knob on there. But the display, there it is very cool. Now this is kind of cool. You could zoom in on a part of the waterfall and actually double tap on it, and it will change the frequency for you. The IC-7300 does come with some buttons and knobs. It also has a handy little SD card port. It has the standard ICOM multi-function menu buttons. But man, when you look at this, you could switch to SWR, you could switch to metering. That's your full metering right there, along with the spectrum analyzer. Other functions that you have on the menu include a little handy memory memo pad, memories, the voice recording. That's very cool in contesting or field day even. And let's see, what else do we have here? We could set up all kinds of different, well, you could make the scope big like that or keep it small, use other functions. It has a nice VFO knob. It's a very nice weighted knob, and it has all your split AB and VFO memory buttons like you would normally have on an HF radio. You can also adjust your noise blanker, your notches, your preamps, all from touchscreen. It is very cool. The back of the radio is pretty standard ICOM fare. It has your external antenna connector, all the regular ports, including USB, keyer, and the data port. It does only have one antenna connector, though. That's the minus. The 7300 is no heavyweight. It weighs in at 9 pounds, 4 ounces. I'll tell you what, that is lightweight in anybody's book, and it makes it just the perfect machine for traveling in your RV or in your shack. ICOM put this thing in a real small package. It measures just 9 inches by 9 inches by 4 inches tall with the legs down. By far, this would be my favorite choice if you're a new ham just getting into the hobby and you want to get into an HF rig and you don't want to spend $5,000 to $10,000 doing it. This is probably going to be my choice. So let's talk about the smallest one in the bunch here. This is the KX2 from Elecraft. This is brand new, very, very small. And as you can see, most of the buttons on this thing serve 3 to 5 functions. You turn it on by a combination of buttons there, and you change bands with the VFO button. So really everything has been scaled down and multi-purposed on this radio. It's really a unique design, and on the side of the side and the back there, you've got all your functions. It's got a really, really good speaker on there, surprisingly loud speaker. Like I said, all the buttons there do multiple functions. Most of them do 3, some of them do 4. The battery on it, this is the little battery pack. Cool little 10.8 volt lithium ion that unplugs from the back. No built-in charger with that one. Inside the radio, pretty standard there, and the speaker is surprisingly strong for what it is. This radio weighs in at 1.42 ounces, or actually 1 pound 42 ounces, as opposed to the KX3 at 1 pound 5.5 ounces, and it's just a few inches shorter and shallower than the KX3. Now my KX3 with the amp weighs in at 7 pounds, and with the PX3 8 pounds, putting it right in the same category as the 7300. I have friends who go on extended motorcycle tours, and they go up to Alaska, they go all over the place. A couple of them happen to be KX3 owners right now. I think this KX2, if I was to buy a new radio, this KX2 might be the perfect ticket for me. Because motorcycling also is one of those activities where you've got to trim ounces. You've got a very, very limited amount of space. You're carrying bedding with you. You're carrying, a few pairs of clothes. And generally, guys that are going across the country are going to laundromats along the way and washing the 1 to 2 pairs of jeans and the 3 t-shirts that they're carrying with them, just trying to save space, because you got to carry food with you. You got to carry all your supplies, especially if you're camping and you've got a bedroll and a sleeping bag and all that stuff. That adds up real fast. So being able to carry an HF rig in a little tiny portion of your luggage or your backpack, I think would be real important. And to me, when you're operating like that, giving up a few things like the roofing filters, it's probably worth it. Totally configured the way I've got this one is about $3,000. It is what it is. I didn't spend $3,000 all at one time though. You're able to do this in stages. I bought the radio, that was about $1,500. Then I bought the amp about a year later, and I just bought the PX3 kind of on a whim, but I've got it now. So I've got this full KX3 station. It does very nicely at home. It does great in the motorhome, does fantastic in the motorhome. And the real reason that I love this radio is because I can pack this thing light and take it with me on an airplane. I do dive trips all over the world, and I love to operate in foreign countries. So I get to do that with this radio in that configuration. But at $1,500, you can't go wrong with this one. Not at all. That's $1,500 fully configured. You could find them on the secondary market now, probably between $1,200 and $1,300. Fully configured. It's a fun radio. Got to operate this thing at field day. For those of you that truly need to trim down the weight, this KX2 is gonna be your ticket. This thing is tiny. It fits literally in the palm of my hand. It'll operate for hours off these internal LiPo4 batteries. Price, as configured here, about $1,150 fully assembled with the internal tuner and everything on it, which if you're going to operate, say, a random wire antenna, you've got to have the tuner on here, unless you want to start carrying a bunch of antennas. And that is not what this thing is made for. This thing is made for the guy who needs, or the girl who needs to shave off ounces, not pounds. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and I'm out of here. 7-3.
Remote system linked.